Oh, hello again. I thought I'd just have a very quick look at Ben's reply video. I managed to find the bits in the video where he's replying to my comments. I'm not going to comment on all of them. I think you just go round and round in circles. But suffice to say that Ben's replies are quite amusing because he's developed this Steve mumbling voice, and I'll see if I can show you a clip. One more clip, just showing Ben doing the Steve mumbling voice. And the clip that I'd like to show you is where he's responding to. There was a comment I left on his video where he was addressing some people up in the north of England, and I said he looked a bit down, and I said, "What's happened?" You know, as Marcus Allen told you privately, you know, that he really knows that the Americans went to the moon in 1969 exactly as the history books tell us. And you know, Ben actually focused on the "Are you feeling a bit down?" part of the two questions, and he said no. I was feeling fine, but he completely ignored the question about did Marcus Allen, as Marcus Allen actually told you privately, that he knows that he believes the Americans landed on the moon in 1969 exactly as the history books tell us. So anyway, I've left Ben that question below his comments video, so that'd be interesting. And a bit further on, he sees that I've made a video debunking the Marcus Allen presentation at Dreaming Sources, and Ben says he's going to take a look at that. So it'd be interesting to hear what comments Ben has to make on that. On that video. But anyway, for the time being, I just thought I'd do this very quick video, just two clips really. This one here, and I think he's right on the money with this one.
Greer, now, like I said, there's some dodgy characters involved in this. Greer is someone I mean, I did a whole video on Greer. It was one of my...
Yeah, there's a lot of very dodgy characters involved in this UFO ET business. It's unfortunate, but you know, 99.99% of what you see on the internet and YouTube about ET, UFOs and all this is just absolute rubbish. It's just twaddle generated in order to generate money. You know, if you look at what Linda Moulton Howe does, what Kerry Cassidy does, it's all absolute rubbish. That, you know, they have these people that they say are whistleblowers, and that they put forward what they're hearing as truth, and it's just nonsense. You can tell it's nonsense just by listening to it. It's just rubbish. And I think Kerry Cassidy was saying the other day that she knows there's 13 Pleiadians living in California or something. It's just I wonder if they know Peter Paget. It's just ridiculous nonsense. And you know, Greer has been going to disclose for the last 30 years, and he's disclosed nothing at all. So you know, when you see E5 with the bright light in the sky and taking people out into the desert, you know, it's very easy to duplicate that. You never get any close. They never come close, of course. You know, it never comes in and lands. Gets you to shake hands with any aliens. Anyway, I'm sort of going off at a bit of a tangent here. Needless to say, I agree with what Ben is saying about Greer. But I think it also applies to most of the people in the UFO ET business.
It was on my disclosure videos, my disclosure 2015 videos, I think. And I went to see a talk by him, and I don't trust the guy. I think the more I look at him, the less I trust him. And I think the less confident I feel that he's being honest and being sensible in this realm. So that's my position. I don't know for certain. I just get bad vibes off him now. He's obviously got an ego problem. It's very clear. You know, it is all that sort of like muscle flexing and hey man, I'm 64 years old and I can bench 46 and stuff like this.
Yeah, I think he does that, doesn't he? Yeah, I'm so you know, he started doing that after he got over 60 years old. You know, I'm 60 and I can still bench press 400 pounds. I'm 61, I can still bench press 400 pounds, you know, because we don't see any videos of that either, do we? So if you get to see this, Mr. Greer, perhaps you could, next time you're doing some of this bench pressing, 400-pound bench presses and all this impressive iron work, you could get someone to film it, and we'll have some close-up of the weights, and we don't want any polystyrene discs with weights, 400 pounds written on them, sprayed satin black with car paint or anything like that. We want the real thing. So show us the weights, put them on a scale, put them on a bar, and let's see you bench press 460 pounds. I think that's about as unlikely as the rest of the stuff you say, to be perfectly honest. It's fanciful nonsense. Anyway, let's just run this on a little bit more.
And the bodyguards. I mean, he has bodyguards. I mean, I know one of them. This guy, the guy who runs the Amsterdam Exopolitics conference. He was one of Greer's bodyguards. I mean, who else in the UFO Paracon community needs bodyguards? Not bodyguards, they're ego guards.
Oh dear. Yeah, well said, Ben. Yes, I'd completely agree with that. That's unusual, isn't it, for me to completely agree with something Ben says? But anyway, I'll see if I can find the clip that I can find every other clip. I get about 4 mentions in this video where Ben does his Steve Mumbling voice. And yes, it sounds as though I should be an MG owner, the voice that Ben gives me. Funnily enough, I did actually wonder about buying an MG. I thought of buying the MG RV8, one of those. There was only 2,000 of them made. It was the last hurrah for MG. So it looks like the classic MG, but it's got the 4-litre V8 Rover engine in it, and all leather interior, walnut dash, and all that sort of stuff. And I was pining for one of those vehicles for some time. I don't know why, because I've always, well, certainly for the time period that I've been pining for one, I've had the money to go and buy one. But I go to the MG, the classic car shows, and see these MGs and the MG RV8s, and I really love the look of the car, And contrary to popular belief, the MGB, the 1800 MGB panels, body panels, are not the same as the MG RV8. The MG RV8 is slightly fatter all around, uses Porsche 911 headlights, that sort of thing. Anyway, digressing again here, but actually, I'll just finish that story off because, I really like the look of that car, and I used to go to the classic car shows. I got talking to the people of the MG Owners Club. And there was one particular old chap there that I spoke to a few times, and he bought one, and I saw him at I think it was the Pinjarra British classic car show, and which is just in a field just south of Perth, here in Australia. So anyway, he had his car there. I said, "Oh, you got one?" He said, "Yes, I finally got one." He told me how much he paid for it, which was a pretty reasonable price, fairly average price for those sort of cars. And I said, "Oh, it looks beautiful." I said, "Would you mind if I sit in it?" And he said, "No, not at all." He's a very nice old chap. And it had the top up. The soft top was up at the time. Now, my opinion may have been slightly different if the top had been down, but I got in it, and it felt very claustrophobic. I know sports cars tend to wear a sports car like you'd wear a little metal woolly, but my head touched the frame of the soft top. So when I was sitting in the car, it didn't look to me like I could lower the seat. Obviously, I didn't want to mess around with it because the old chap set it up for himself. I didn't want to change all his seat settings. But if there were any, I suspect it's just backwards and forwards in the MG, not up and down and all different angles like the modern cars. But anyway, I sat in it, and my head was touching the metal strut that went across the middle of the inside of the soft top, to give it some. To firm it up, and I sort of had to lower my head down to be able to see out of the side windows and out of the windscreen properly. So I thought, you know, I don't know if you remember that cartoon Hong Kong Phooey, but, you know, I felt a little bit like Hong Kong Phooey or his chauffeur, you know, sort of hunched over the steering wheel. And he leant in and kindly started the engine. I didn't ask him to do that, but he did that. And I sat there and I sort of revved it and I looked at the did I look at the tacho? Has it got a tacho in it? But anyway, I didn't like the sound of the engine very much. You know, the car that I drive on a daily basis is a V8, albeit a large General Motors V8. It's a 6-litre V8. But that sounds like a V8. And when I sat in the MG, it didn't sound good to me. It sounded rattly. It sounded like the tappets needed doing. If it's got tappets, I suppose it would have, wouldn't it? Anyway, where am I going with this? Oh yeah, this is all because this is all because Ben gave me the nasally MG owner's voice. Yes, I've been tweaking the SU carburetors, trying to balance them, and so I don't know where you got that voice from, Ben, but and you seem to read out my posts as though they're written with aggression, and they're not. There's no aggressive tone when I write these comments, so I think that's worth bearing in mind. Very humorous, anyway, Ben. So yes, thanks for the replies. Now I'll see if I can find the one that inspired me to make this video, where he's talking about my comment about him looking a little bit down. And you know, I said, as Marcus Allen told you, that you know, in private, that he believes the moon landing was all done exactly as the history books tell us. Okay, well, if I can find it, that'll be the next clip. Okay, well, just to finish off the MG story, the fact that the fellow let me sit in his car and run the engine and get a general impression of the vehicle and feel for it, killed any interest I had in that vehicle. Stone dead. So there's an old saying, isn't there? Don't meet your heroes, don't drive your heroes. Yes, very, very disappointed in the MG RV8. Never took it on the road, but the impression I got was not favourable. So yes, it actually saved me a few quid there by killing any interest I had in buying an MG RV8. Okay. Now this is not the clip that I wanted to show you with Ben up north in the UK, where I said he was looking a little bit down. I can't find that one. I stumbled across it earlier, but I didn't actually write down a timestamp for it, which was a bit of a mistake. I've had a quick flick through and I can't find it again. But this one will do. This is just another clip. It's Ben using his Steve Mumbling voice.
That means, well, that's over 4 hours now.
Yeah, I don't know how he does these 4-hour videos. I really don't.
Right, Dream Source's Marcus Allen. Oh, right, this is Steve Mumbling. Take a look at 1:21:50 in this video, Ben. It clearly shows Mr. Allen knows the...
So do you think... do you think I'm sounding a bit like an MG owner here?
Americans went to the moon regardless of what he tells us. Okay, let's have a look at this. Oh, Steve Mumbling. Oh, it's a video by Steve Mumbling. Oh, it's all right. It's a video on Steve's channel. It's 1 hour, 25 minutes long. Okay, Steve. Well, I will have a look at that. Okay. Marcus Allen, the recent Dreaming Sources conference. He's a fake moon landing nutter. He asks us to prove him wrong, but presents no proof of his own. All right, well, Steve, I'll have a look at your whole video there, right? Because you made an entire video there. And I know we were in the middle of some kind of dialogue, which I couldn't complete because I was too busy doing other things. But I will get back to you.
Yes, that'd be interesting, Ben. And yes, thank you thank you in advance for watching the whole Marcus Allen debunking video. I'd be very interested to hear what yourself or Mr. Allen has to say about the comments that I made. So yes, I hope you do manage to find time to take a look at that and do supply some comments. All right. Well, I think that is going to be it. I don't think there's anything else. I only really wanted to show Ben giving the Steve Mumbling accent. But it's turned into a 10-minute or so video of me talking about MGs for some reason. Anyway, I'll probably post it, and if I do, as always, very well done for making it this far through the video. Thanks for watching, and maybe I'll catch you again.